staff, management, or sponsors. Welcome to the wonderful world of wellness with the famous Dr. Andy Mencia. Dr. Mencia brings you his own show, which brings you medicine and other wonderful products in the field of health every Monday night at 6:30 p.m. here on WNN AM 1470 radio and live streamed on www.wonderfulworldofwellness.com. Brought to you by the Adult and Geriatric Center of Florida under the medical direction of the geriatrical doctor Andy Mencia. Call and be part of the show at 888-565-1470 and let Dr. Mencia help you find a future with wellness.
Here. Now turn the monitor on. Good evening, everybody. It's a wonderful show. It's wonderful when everything is live. So coming live to you, I am enjoying my cup of, let me see, what am I drinking today? My cafe latte. It's a nice way to start the show. Nice and warm, and I hope you are all feeling warm and having fun. I hope all of you have a very productive day. And we want to come today to you to talk a little bit about who we are at the Adult and Geriatric Health Center. And let's see, I don't know what we have on the monitor, but we have you can go on the website and you can see the our center, which is the Adult and Geriatrics Health Center.com, and see all the services that we provide at the center. When I created this center, when I relocated from the northern part of the East Coast to Florida, you know, growing up in Hawaii, I always wanted to live in the warm area. So when I came here, my dream was to create a center that will cater to the need of the baby boomers and especially the geriatric patients. As an internist, of course, I see a lot of young patients. I do pain management. I do personal injury cases. But when it comes to the culture of the company, what we do is basically bring under one roof a menu like when you go to a restaurant and you want to choose what do you want for your appetizer, what do you want for the main course, what do you want for dessert, and what do you want to drink. So when you come to the center, you get to choose what services are important for you that day or the next appointment that you are having. What services are important to you. And our services basically are very cutting edge. We provide on the premises, we are able to drop the blood work for our patients, and this is live TV, so there go Organo Gold. At the center, we are able to provide all the services under one roof. And by doing that, most of the patients, not only the elderly patient, but the younger boomers and younger adults that are still working and they take time off from work, and they always are happy to see that they are able to come to my center and have all of these services provided for them. The other day I had a patient that came to see me, and he took time off, and he works in Miami, so he took time off to come to the office, and he was able to see me as a new patient. He came on an empty stomach, what we call fasting, so we were able to drop all his lab and everything. But when he noticed that we have a dental department, he said, oh, can I get my cleaning and my whitening while I'm here. So we did the dental whitening, we did the cleaning, we did the blood work, and we saw him basically as a new patient, being able to adjust his regimen of medications and all those things. And because he has a very strong family history of cardiac condition, those are the love of my life, my horses. Because he has a very strong family history of cardiac condition, he set up his follow-up appointment. He came in on Saturday, and he got the echocardiogram so we can analyze and check his heart, his electrocardiogram, so we can check the electrical component of the heart. The carotid, which are the blood vessels that go to the brain and bring circulation to the brain. And the next appointment that he's coming to see me, he will be seeing me and the cardiologist to make sure that the heart is okay from the point of view of the internist as well as from the cardiologist. And that's the wonder of the practice, to be able to bring people, not only retired individuals that have time in their hand to spend a lot of time in the office. A lot of time when they come, a lot of my patients, they have the free cup of coffee. They drink their coffee. They choose what they want, whether they want a latte, they want black, they want mocha. They choose whatever they want. They have their cup of coffee after the blood work is drawn. And patients are able to come and spend time in the office, go to the dental department, talk to Mike in the dental department, see what the next appointment is available. And in their follow-up appointment, they usually, if they have problem with ingrowing toenail, they will go to the specialist to get that taken care of. If they have a rash or something that need to see the dermatologist, then the dermatologist will see the patient that day. And if they need to see the eye doctor, today we have Dr. Larry Lambert, who is a neuro-optometrist. And he was seeing all of the patients that will come in that have a problem with balance and with focusing in their vision. Because a lot of time when an individual fall down, it's not a problem only with balance, it could be a problem with perception. So when you are walking, you misstep because you are not perceiving the distance and the depth of the steps as you are walking. So it's wonderful. Today we were having the neurologist, Dr. Wiley seeing patient, Dr. Lambert seeing patient, myself, and Dr. Rosemary in the dental department seeing patient. So you have all these specialists always there seeing patient. And then how wonderful it is, and this is what gives me pride of what I have accomplished thus far. How wonderful it is, not only when you need to see my urologist at the practice, all my cardiologists, all my neurologists, all my dermatologists, all the ophthalmologist, Dr. Cindy Hernandez is wonderful, beautiful, bedside manner, excellent surgeon. Our orthopedic physician, and so many specialists that I'm sure I'm going to forget some, but I cannot forget my beautiful dietitians. Of course, no. I have to bring my dietitian to the front line because they are always there 6 days a week, always providing services for the patient. And they just starting now a weight loss program, and they are starting a diabetic regimen. So they're going to be coaching all of my team of patients, all of that group of patients that we have that want to go on a weight loss program. They will be coaching those patients with the diet. They are no dictator. They are not dictating to the patient what to do, but they will be coaching the patient to help them out, those that want to be helped, those that want to be coached. I'm basically just giving you advice, and you pick and choose what you can do, what's important to you. They will be coaching patients that want to go into the weight loss program, and they will be there to coach patients that want to go in the diabetic control program. Now, You have to be careful because a lot of dietitian and nutritionists will charge you for out-of-pocket payment when you go for these services. At the center, any service that we provide that is out-of-pocket will let you know upfront. So, for example, the dietary services, if you have an insurance that allow you to have your dietary services, which, by the way, most insurances will cover a nutritional consultation and have those patients follow up with you. But when you come in for those services, you are not charged unless you have a copay or anything like that, which usually is very minimum. But different from freestanding dietitian and freestanding nutritionists that are not working right along a physician, many times you will have to pay for these services out of pocket. At the center, we provide this to our clientele, our patients, through the insurance carrier, not from your pocket. So when you see the dietitian, all of the services that we provide, these are physicians that are certified and are able to provide services through the center, looking at your insurance carrier so that all of these services can be provided to you. So I hope if you are not part of our team, I hope that today you can come and join the team. And you are just one more member of our team. You are not a person that we are there to cater to. We're going to cater to you, but we want you to tell us what's important to you. And then we're going to take it from that point. Not that everybody that comes through the practice have to see all of the specialists that we have there. It's what is important to you and what does you and I as patient-physician relationship, what we decide that is important for us to follow and to monitor as we move on with your care. And that's what the wonderful Well of Wellness is all about. It's all about prevention. It's all about working with the patient so that we can look at where your heart condition is now and how we can prevent a heart attack in the future. Looking at your brain and your nervous system and how can we move forward and help you prevent a mini stroke or a major stroke or any of this catastrophic event that can be very damaging to our body. And so how wonderful it is to be able to go to see a dentist. This came from one of my patients who very knowledgeable individual that came to the practice, and he pulled me to the side and he said, Dr. Mencia, I don't know if you have any idea of what you have created here. This is the future of medicine. You are so ahead of your time. This is incredible. So I felt, instead of talking about coffee, we're going to talk about the center because of you. And I was asking him to make sure he watches the show because he have inspired the show. He said, you have to let people know what you are doing here. Let them know what you are doing because people are not doing what you are doing here. So he came today to get dental service. And he was so pleased with the dental department. And I went up to the dental department when he was being served, and I say hello to him. I say, is everything okay? Anything I can do? I'm Dr. Mencia. I'm the medical director of the center. Anything we can do, please let us know. And when he said, and I left, he told the technician, the dental assistant, he said, do you mean to tell me that this is a medical doctor that is visiting me while I'm sitting on the dental chair? And the technician said, yes. He said, would you please ask him to come back? So he brought me back into the room. And he said, I have never been to a dentist where, as the dentist is able to welcome me, I was so worried about, when they put the anesthetic, when they inject with the anesthetic, sometimes I get this palpitation, and that scared me so much that after I hear now that I have a medical doctor on the premises as the dentist is working on me, I feel so much relaxed now. I think this is going to be my best ever dental experience. And I say, wow, mission accomplished. And this is a young guy. This is a guy in his early 40s. And he's seeing the benefits. So imagine those of you in your 70s and 80, and you have to go to see your dentist. And when you are at the dentist, you are there, but there's no medical component to support and to be there for you, just in case of an emergency. And the dental department, everybody that is part of the team at Adult and Geriatric Health Center, everybody that is part of the team, they know that I always have an open door for any concern of any question that they have. And I think that had been the secret of the success of our center. Why? Because on many occasions you want to write a prescription as a prescriber, and you don't know of the many choices that we have, which one should we write. And to give you an example today, one of the consultant at the practice wanted to give an antibiotic to a patient, and he asked me, which antibiotic should I provide to the patient? Because I'm going to treat the patient for a urinary tract infection, but it's not my specialty. What would you recommend? So I say, let's look at the kidney function. So we look at his kidney function, and his kidneys are not horrible, but they are sluggish. So taking just the kidney function into consideration, taking the fact that this patient is a diabetic patient, regardless of where the kidney function stands, when that person takes an antibiotic, a diabetic patient, he or she will be more prone to producing damage to those kidneys than a non-diabetic patient. A patient with poorly controlled high blood pressure that is given an antibiotic is more prone to having damage of the kidneys than a person that have well-controlled high blood pressure. So how wonderful it is, not only for the dental department, but for my podiatrist and dermatologist and you name it, to be able to come and say to one of the geriatricians or internists or nurse practitioner, what would you recommend if, looking at the patient entire profile, what would you recommend? And I felt great. And the patient probably will never see it, and the patient will never understand my feelings. But I tell you that as a medical doctor, when I see a patient that end up in the emergency room with a acute, meaning sudden onset, damage of their renal function because they have taken an antibiotic, not that was erroneously prescribed. It could have been prescribed perfectly, right dose, right antibiotic. But because we are not looking at the entire picture of the individual, when that person is taking that antibiotic, they will have the sudden damage of the kidney. The medical terminology, if you want to look at it, is acute tubular necrosis. And acute tubular necrosis, sometimes will present with a little bit of blood in the urine. The patient starts drinking water, the blood goes away. But the next time you get your blood test done, they say, oops, I don't know what happened to you, but your kidney seems to be now worse than what it was on the previous blood test that we have done on you. So, the body that God had created, this body of ours, is a wonderful part of the universe, but it's also a very fragile instrument, creation of God. And as a fragile creation of God, you have to care for it. You have to take care of all the components of your body. And I always tell my patient, you have to learn to be a smart consumer. You know, I have a patient that was seeing a podiatrist, and it was one of the podiatrists that tend to do home visits and those sort of things. And as I'm examining the patient and I remove the shoes and I'm looking, and I say, why your nails, we need to clip your nail, you have to take care of your nail. He said, oh, no, I just had it done. I said, what do you mean you just had it done? Oh, yes, I have a podiatrist that come to my house and my nails were done. And when you spell my name is M-E-N-C as in Charlie, I-A, Mencia. So we're going to make a correction. So if you call the office, it's Mencia, M-E-N-C-I-A. So I say, no, we have to take care of your nail. I'm going to refer you to a podiatrist because this is not right. And he said, oh, so, you know, when you are under my care, I make sure that whoever is seeing you, whether a consultant from the center or from the outside, we will make sure that the service that is being provided to you is the best service. And one of the beauty of the center is that we stay in touch with each other. You know, we are always talking to the chiropractor and the podiatrist in the community, the gastroenterologist that I work with in the community, the different cardiologists that I work with. We remain in touch, and I have patients of mine that they go to Miami and get care in the major institutions throughout the Tri-County area. But I always tell my patient, please take one of the business cards and make sure that whoever is touching you, whoever the consultant is, that they send a report, either with you or before you come and see me. So I am on top of everything that is happening on the patient at the center. And basically that's part of the philosophy of the practice, to be able to integrate the care of the patient, integrate the care of the patient, be able to be an advocate for the patient, defend and protect, and be able to speak for, on behalf of you when you are coming to our office. We get lots of patients that come from other countries, and they will call the office. By the way, the phone number is 954-489-1345. We have a live operator that will answer the phone. You have a menu where you can go ahead and try to get scheduling department, or you can get the medical assistant that will attempt to call back your prescription. But you can always, in after hours, you can always hit for the operator and speak to a live person, or leave a message to the operator that if all the lines are busy, they will get back to you. And the operator is there 24/7. To attend to any emergency or any concern that you might have. And at the center, we do a lot of lecture for the community right at the center. And when we do the lecture for the community, basically we try to empower you as a patient. We believe that if you are a educated consumer, you will know how to best navigate to the healthcare system that is so complex in today's age. A lot of people go through the internet, and they try to find information through the internet. It's not a bad idea. It's a great idea, but you have to take it with a grain of salt, because the information in the internet could be great, but it could be garbage in, garbage out. So you have to always look at the source of where you're getting the information. So when you go to a reputable organization and look in the internet for some of those organizations, that have very good information that you can Google and research on, then you're probably getting good information. But also there's a lot of stuff out there that if you know, especially when I see those sites that says, you know, you can click here to make correction on what we have written. I mean, anybody can go in there and they can click and they can write whatever they want, and then the next person reading into those sites are reading what that person has written. If it's some crazy person that has some crazy idea and they coming in and they are writing stuff on the internet, then you go and read that and you take it as the truth, you can get it, you can put yourself in deep trouble. So always try to look at the sources, look at what who has written what in there, and when you go to reputable sites, this is very hard to do. Remember that our website is Adult and Geriatrics Health Center.com. You can always get us here every Monday from 6:30 to 7:30. You can also call our phone number. It is 954-489-1345. And if you want to talk to me live, we are here. You can call our 888 number that we have put on the screen for you, so that you can feel free to call and ask any concern, anything that via this way of communication we can provide the information that we are allowed to provide. Whatever is we are unable to answer, then we can talk in person, and we will get to it. Let us take a break, a commercial break, and we will return with you very soon. Don't go away.
Times are tough, and right now those in the commercial world know that being heard via advertisements is the name of the game. AmpSquare.tv understands how important advertisement is and is proud to express that it's truly the only plugged-in internet television production company on the market. Amp2.tv live streams all their shows across all the major selling markets in the U.S. and abroad. Call them at 866-224-5422. The AmpSquare.tv library allows productions to be seen over and over again, making commercial platforms more usable. Call 866-224-5422. Toll free 866-224-5422. Amp2.tv, the first and only internet television network that's truly plugged in. 866-224-5422. That's AMP2.TV.
Talk 1470, WWNN Pompano Beach, WKIS HD3, Boca Raton, Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
Dr. Andy Mencia's mission is to improve your quality of life by providing both convenient and affordable health care under one roof for our patients. By providing the best health care services to our patients, Adult and Geriatric Health Center can prosper as a business, as well as to continue to meet and exceed the expectations of our staff and customers. Call us at 954-489-1345, 954-489-1345. And now, back to our show.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Good to have you back over here. Those that are joining us, welcome to the show. This is the wonderful World of Wellness. And I'm your host, Dr. Andy Mencia. We have an 888 number that we are putting out there for you to be able to call with any question, concern, comment that you may have. Keep it brief. And also, you can visit our website at Adult and Geriatrics Health Center.com and call our office phone number. As you heard in the commercial there, is 954-489-1345. So when we created the center, what was the objective here? Basically, the objective was to try to cater to the geriatric patient mainly, because in many occasions it was so difficult for an elderly person who will go to a primary care doctor, and usually you will spend a good 3 hours to half a day in one appointment, one visit, and then that doctor will refer you to someone else in the community. And every time a person had to go to a community, as a geriatrician, I try to bring share light to how difficult it is to accomplish this. So let me share that with you the best we can here. So you get the picture. Imagine mom or pop that lives in a retirement community, a assisted living facility, or a nursing home. And this person have to go to see a primary care doctor. So there is a big mechanism that have to be organized, synchronized, orchestrated within that community. So the appointment comes to the community. There's an administrator that will call a nurse. That nurse will call an assistant that will accompany the patient. Transportation have to be arranged to take that patient to go and see the doctor. And in some occasion, I went to Lake Worth, and some of the facility that I went to lecture to, they told me, we don't even provide transportation. It is the family member that had to take off from work and come here and pick up mom or pop or uncle or grandpa. They have to come in, they have to put it in their car, and they have to carry them to the doctor's office. So the loved one had to stop working, decrease their work hours so that they can take care of mom or pop. And in many occasions, like in the Tri-County here, there are transportation that is provided. But I hope you're getting the picture of this. So the patient, you go to all of this event, and the patient eventually get to the doctors. And when you arrive at the waiting room, they say, oops, sorry. The doctor had an emergency and have to go to the hospital, so we will have to reschedule your appointment. So they will have to take you back to your facility, and we will have to then go back and reschedule that appointment from the center and go through all the rigmarole of trying to reorganize all of this for the patient, so that that patient can now be transported for the follow-up appointment, hoping that the doctor will be present to attend to the patient. And when the doctor is available, then the doctor say, well, you have a rotator cuff problem with your left shoulder, so I'm going to have you go and see an orthopedic, so I'm going to give you the name of an orthopedic, or I might give you 2 or 3 orthopedic, and you choose who you want to see. But you are not a doctor, so how are you going to choose? You expect your doctor to provide who would you recommend for the kind of problem that you are having. Because not all doctors are good at fixing shoulders. Not all doctors are good at fixing hips. And some of the doctors that can do hip replacement, there are a few of them that specializes on what we call second look, a revision of a hip that have already been fixed. So the responsibility really fall on our laps, that we have to make sure that we are choosing the best consultant to provide the type of service that that particular patient require at that particular moment. So when the patient get the name of that doctor, and the patient have to go now and see the doctor, so the information go back to the facility, and then the administrator and the case manager and the social worker and the nurse and the assistant to the nurse, they have to now go back through the same procedure they just did for that primary care doctor, so that now they can set up another appointment with the specialist. let it be a cardiologist, a ophthalmologist, a orthopedic doctor, a podiatrist, a dentist, a neurologist, whoever the specialist is being requested by the primary care doctor. They will go and set up that appointment. And when that person go to that office, you have to break the ice all over again. Because when you get to the waiting room, you don't know that person in the front desk anymore. You don't know the nurse, because it's not the nurse that took your blood pressure when you went to your primary care doctor. This is a different nurse now that work with the orthopedic doctor, let's say, to pick one of those specialists. Now you have to see that nurse, that front desk person, the person that will check you out on the way back to your facility is a different person. So you are breaking the ice with each of the personnel that work at each of those doctors' office. And this was very detrimental, very time-consuming. When I saw it, when I look at the business of medicine, I say, this is such a redundant work that we are doing here. What a waste of time. What a waste of money and waste of time. No wonder our country is going broke. So what I have done, I put together, and when you come to my office, those of you that are my patient that have been there, if you notice in the front desk, there is no glass door separating you from the staff. There is a open system. And you will notice that it says on top, it says medical concierge. It is not a front desk secretary, it's a concierge. And this is what I call, when I'm training my staff, this is what I call in the center, tower control. Why tower control? Because tower control is when you are at the airport. Tower control, the personnel on tower control are responsible for the planes that are down so that they can take off, and the planes that are up in the air, who's going to land first, where you're going to land, how fast we want you out of the runway so the next person can move. So when the patient come there to the center, to the adult and geriatric center, what we do is we say, welcome, Mrs. Smith. Let's see, you have an appointment today with the eye doctor, the neurologist, Dr. Mencia, and you're going to see the dentist. And we're getting your blood work done today. So tower control will say, even though, let's say, the first appointment is with the eye doctor, but they say, oh, Dr. Mencia has a spot right now that is open. So we're going to take Mrs. Smith and have her see Dr. Mencia first, because he is available. And right after that, who's next? Oh, while the patient is there, we can do the blood work right here. So we do the blood work. Mission accomplished. Who's available? Before the patient leaves that room, we go to tower control. Where can the person go now? Send the person to the dental department. They have a room that is open. The person can sit there. When the person finishes dental, they come back down, and now they can see the the ophthalmologist or the other specialty that they have. And you can see a picture there of our center, our beautiful center. The landscaping have just been redone, so when you come to the center, it's going to look beautiful. You're going to love the landscaping that had been done at the center. So when the patient they go through all their appointment, and they never feel that they are wasting time. You can have just one appointment with one of the provider, and you're going to go in, get your medical need fulfilled, and on your way out, you will have your cup of coffee. We will offer you some coffee or tea or chocolate, and you will be out in no time. And by the time that we see that your appointment is almost finished and that you are satisfied before you are even on the way out of the center, we are already calling transportation for you. So when I study the market in South Florida, one of the things that I noticed is that people felt that because we are aging, that we have all the time in the world. And if we have all the time in the world, you can see in a exam room and wait for a doctor to show up in 45 minutes. And if it's a loved one of mine, I would say that's unacceptable. I don't want that to happen to my loved one or to myself if I have to go and see a doctor. I don't want to be sitting someplace as a physician that is actively working where my time is money. I don't want to be sitting for 45 minutes in a doctor's exam room with nobody taking care of me, just waiting there for 45 minutes. I'd rather sit maybe in the waiting room and watch TV or listen to music, read a newspaper. But sitting in a tiny room there with the door closed, I'm not claustrophobic, but I don't want that. I want to be taken care, get me out of there, let me do the thing that I really want to do. That is never, I don't think there are many people there that say, oh, I can't wait to go to the doctor so I can sit in that room for an hour and wait for the doctor. I don't think there are people that want to do that. People want to be taken care of, and they want to go home and find things to do at home and basically spend their time the way they feel is most appropriate for them. So we pride ourselves when we study the market and we saw how patients will be taken care of, and not only South Florida, ladies and gentlemen. This is nationwide. There are many doctors' offices that you go to, and they will sit you there for a long period of time. And the other day I had an officer from Homeland Security that came to see me, and it was also his first appointment, and he was so impressed to the fact that he came on an empty stomach, and by the time I went to the room, they have blood work done, they have the urine test done, they already have done the electrocardiogram to check his heart. When I walk into the room, I put my hands up because I saw his gun and all the badges and stuff. I said, I promise I didn't do it. And no, it was a new patient. So we went into the room, and he was so impressed. He said, I thought I was going to spend here at least half a day, but I'm so impressed to be able to come to the center and see how fast you guys move, how well organized. Another thing that you're going to notice in the center is the attitude of the staff. We keep each other cheerful and happy. We are always joking with each other. We are always motivating each other. We are a team. We are a genuine team of professionals. And we all work with each other. In some of the future shows, I will be bringing to you some of the specialists so that you can meet them through the wonderful world of wellness and get to understand, see them as a human being, why they went into what their specialty and why they do what they do. For those of you that come to the center, you already see how important it is to keep yourself well taken care of, and how beautiful it is when we can prevent catastrophe from happening. And I give you, I like to give you a little story of sometimes personal or thing that happened in the center. This time I want to give you a little personal story. One of my younger brothers died from an aneurysm of the brain. And let me tell you, my younger brother Jacob went to the emergency room, and he was complaining of headaches. And he was staying with my sister-in-law in Massachusetts, and he went to the emergency room and said, oh, I have this headache. I never suffered from headache. Went to the emergency room. They say, well, take Tylenol. At the triage, they didn't even put him inside. At the triage, take some Tylenol, go home, and if the headache continues, then go ahead and come back. He went back to the emergency room and said, this headache, I never suffered from headache. Something is not right with me. I never, ever suffered from headache. And he was a young kid, 31 years old. And they say, you know, you're so young, just take some Excedrin for headache, and maybe you need to see a psychologist or somebody to help you. And they sent him back home. On the way back home, he went home. He told my sister-in-law, you know, I'm just going to go and lay down, see if the headache go away. As he was walking toward the bed to lie down, he fell head first and died, collapsed and died. And he died when they saw from an aneurysm of the brain that was never attended to. So when I saw that as a physician, I told all my family, you know, we have to get checked because sometimes aneurysm of the brain can run in the family. So I was the first one to go to one of the local hospitals, and I set up my appointment. God is my witness. Set up my appointment for a Saturday morning. At that time, I do see patients on Saturday. I work 6 days a week. I set up my appointment for a Saturday morning. Went to with a T-shirt with shorts and sandal to get my MRI, MLA of the brain so I can get checked. I went in at 7:30 in the morning. I am sitting with a book, reading a book, and by 11:15, around there, one of the supervisors looked and he said, "Are you Dr. Mencia?" I say, "Yes." I had an appointment at 8:30 in the morning. I came way earlier for that appointment, and I'm still sitting here waiting for my MLA to be done. And she goes, "Oh my God, Dr. Mencia, I apologize. Let me see what's going on here." So she called the supervisor, and she said, "That's doctor sitting there." So of course everybody moved, and they got me in the next 15 minutes. But I say, wow. So is this what my patient have to go through when I want a test to be done? Because, you know, you're no doctor. So when you go in, you are just a patient. And I didn't want to open my mouth because I wanted to see what is the process. What will happen when you just sit there and let the system that we have today take its course? And it's horrible. And I went back to my center and I said, I'm going to do everything under my power to make sure that when my patient come in, that there is harmony and that the care is well synchronized. That way, you know, people are not there because they have time to waste. So that's one of the wonderful things of the center, that when you come there, we will care for you. We will appreciate the fact that you have chosen the center to handle your health, and we will provide for you. All of the patients that come to the center, they will get free dental consultation, free of charge. Whether you have dental insurance or not, we don't care, because dental care is part of health. So everybody that come in will get a free consultation, free dental consultation, whether you have insurance or not. You can have no insurance at all, and once you come to the center, you get offered by our center a free dental consult, where you can go and talk to the staff and do things, and not only get the medical care that you need, but look at the holistic approach then. So another component of our healthcare, and that's why we go here and talk about the coffee. And why the coffee? Because the coffee has Ganoderma, that is a mushroom that comes from Asia, and is considered one of the biggest superpower or superfood that is available from Earth. So we pride ourselves of being able to fuse traditional medicine with holistic medicine, bringing those two beliefs into one, and utilizing one or the other, or both, or 75% traditional, 25% holistic, or vice versa. It all depends on what you want, what your body is asking for, and what we feel as physicians and nurses and dentists on what we can provide for you. So we are combining the holistic and the traditional approach of care. The other aspect of the Adult and Geriatric Health Center that a lot of people don't see, and when I'm lecturing to other doctors, I always try to bring this about, is that for any complaint that a patient may have, for any condition that a patient may have, we have what we call the biopsychosocial component. Let me break it down for you. If you have a headache, if you have gastritis, if you have irritable bowel syndrome, if you have fibromyalgia, if you have osteoarthritis, if you have any condition, you have blurry vision, any condition, you have you need a root canal. Biopsychosocial. Bio is that as physicians, when we go through medical school, they will teach us what is the pathophysiology, how does headache come to be. And once we understand how headaches come to be, then they teach us in medical school, because this is how headache develop, and these are the different type of headaches, these are the different type of medication. So from the biological point of view, we try to pair a condition or a disease with a treatment, okay? But a lot of times, physicians, they just stop there. That's their job. You come in with a headache, here's a prescription, go home, see you in 3 months, see you in 6 months, see you if you get another headache. What about the psychological component? Because it is not the same thing as having a teacher that have to work to pay the mortgage and pay the car and put the kids through school, having a headache, than a person that is retired and have all the time in the world and have all the money that they need, having a headache. Of course, the teacher, because have all this responsibility, or the geriatric patient might have all the responsibility. Regardless, we have to look, how is this headache affecting you psychologically? How concerned are you? Do I need to spend more time on the psyche aspect of your disease so that I can help you understand and I can reassure you or which way we're going to head, so that you don't have to think, oh, am I going to lose my job because now I have this headache, or I'm suffering from migraine. Am I going to lose my job? Am I going to lose my job because I was just diagnosed with hepatitis? Am I going to lose my job because they just diagnosed me with high blood pressure? Am I going to stop being a pilot because now I have diabetes? So there is a very high psychological component to any condition. And at the center, we pride ourselves to making sure that we incorporate the biological with the psychological. But then come the third component, which is the social, biopsychosocial component. So let's talk about the social component. The social component is that when you come with a headache, and I want to give you a treatment, or you come with a gastritis, and I want to give you a treatment, and I pair what they taught me in school for this kind of gastritis, or this kind of headache, this is the medication I should prescribe. And you go to the pharmacy, and you live on a budget of, let's say, $500 or $600 or $800 a month, and the medication that I gave you for the headache cost you $1,000 a month. And you're going to say, how am I going to afford this prescription? I don't have $1,000. I will have to stop eating. I cannot buy gas. I cannot buy detergent to clean the clothes. I cannot clean my house. I cannot pay electricity. How am I going to afford such an expensive drug? So we have to look at the social component, or not only the treatment option that we have, but what would be the most affordable treatment option that we have. And that's the beauty when we come with the holistic approach. I had a patient that came in with gastritis, and I told my patient, just get the mushroom and buy some papaya from the supermarket. Why? Because papaya has a chemical component called papain, and papain is one of the most powerful anti-inflammatory that we have. So I told them, get some turmeric also, get some papaya. These are good anti-inflammatory. And when you eat that, that's going to be soothing to your stomach and help you with the gastritis. So biopsychosocial component, that's one of the beauty of the practice of adult and geriatric center. I know we have done a lot of shows, we have spoken to you about the coffee, but I want you to get to know the center that is coming to you every Monday. So I want you to know my philosophy, my dream, where I want my practice to go. We're going to be opening an office in Boynton before we leave very soon. So I will let you know about Boynton Beach when we open the office there. Again, we are located at 1608 East Commercial Boulevard in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And please check us out on the website, Adult and Geriatric Health Center. Have a great night, and God bless you all.
You have been listening to The Wonderful World of Wellness with Dr. Andy Mencia, who is a 2-year fellowship-trained geriatrician and owns a large multi-specialty geriatric center in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. He believes in caring for the elderly in the most compassionate way, and to that end, he created the center with them in mind. Join Dr. Mencia every Monday night at 6:30 p.m. on the WWNN 1470 Radio TV network and on his website at www.wonderfulworldofwellness.com to ask any questions on the many topics he covers. The opinions expressed on the preceding